It's time for 41 is the Mic, a weekly Chiefs podcast with Nick Jacobs of KSHB 41 and Matt Derrick of Chiefs Digest. 41 is the Mic starts now.
And joining us as we talk about leading up to the 2025 NFL Draft is cornerback Jacob Parrish from Kansas State. Just came off a great combine in Indianapolis. Jacob, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Blessed with the opportunity I got. Just blessed to be here.
Tell us about your week in Indianapolis. You had a really good performance out there.
Yeah, it was amazing week. I was very satisfied with the numbers I put out there, and actually it was my birthday the day the DBs went. So I felt like I knew I was going to do good. Had to do good on my birthday. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious for you, Jacob. What was the week like compared to what they prepared you for? What kind of maybe surprised you a little bit? Where you're like, oh, I heard this, but wow, this really was what it lived up to.
Yeah, I would say something that really surprised me is like just leading all this stuff before like the day. So like all the meetings we did, I wasn't expecting all the meetings, like meeting with all the teams. I didn't expect all that. So that really caught me off guard, to be honest.
After 3 years at Kansas State, I mean, you still had some eligibility left, but what told you now was the right time for you to make the move to the NFL?
Really, first I talked to Coach Malone, my assistant coach at K-State. We would talk about this, throughout the season, and I felt like I put good tape out there. He felt like I put good tape out there, and I just felt like I was ready to take my game to the next level. And then talk to my parents. We felt like it was a good opportunity for me to go right now. So that's really what led to the decision.
And you don't necessarily have to name any teams or anything, but getting to meet with some of them when you open up, because I know I've talked to players before at the combine, they open up the door to that hotel room, and then you're like, oh, wow, that's this head coach. Oh, wow, that's this GM. I've seen him on TV before. And you kind of sit down there and go over thing with them. What was that experience like for you on that front?
It was a pretty cool experience, I mean, I've always been a football fan, so, just seeing them guys on TV and then just seeing them in person was, really hit me like, oh, I'm almost there to, doing what I love. So yeah, it was a very cool experience.
One of the things that stands out on a lot of the scouting reports about you, and if you watch your film, is how physical you play. How much pride do you take in that, and how do you feel like that ability will translate for you at the next level as far as, as a defensive back, what positions you could play?
Yeah, I mean, I take a lot of pride in that. I grew up wrestling, so I feel like I got my physicality from wrestling at a very young age. I mean, I take very much pride in it, especially as a DB. And then like a slot, if I don't play slot next to that level, I got to be able. It's like a linebacker playing a DB, so you got to be able to be in the run fit, taking on bigger guys. So like I said, I take a lot of pride in being a physical guy.
Your brother wrestled at Nebraska, so you probably had to wrestle your older brother, didn't you?
Yeah, a bunch of times. We went at it a bunch of times.
And for you, from being a wrestler, what parts of that do you feel like really kind of translated and helped you distinguish yourself as a corner from some of the other guys in college?
Just, just tackling. I feel like wrestling helped me a lot when it comes to tackling. I mean, wrestling, we do a thing called double legs where you taking a shot and dumping somebody on their back. So, that's something I translate on the field. So I feel like I'm just grateful I wrestled at a young age and allowed me to help me in football.
You excelled in the 40 time in Indianapolis, Jacob, and but you go back. I mean, you were 100, 200 meter star and state title champ at Olathe North or Blue Valley. I'm sorry.
Olathe North.
Olathe North. There you go. I had it right the first time.
Yeah, you good.
How do you feel like your speed translates as into your game, and how much does it help you?
Shoot, a lot. I mean, I've heard people doubt my top end speed, but I always knew I had good speed. Like I said, track, I was a 100-meter champion, ran a 10.47, was a 200-meter champion. So I knew it would translate in college and in football, just be able to run with the fast guys on the perimeter. So like I said, I'm glad I ran track in high school.
So for a lot, depending what coach it was, whether it's youth, high school, college, who are some of the coaches that have been really influential to you, and what did they teach you that's stuck with you to this day?
I mean, I'm gonna go my high school head coach, Coach McCartney, Chris McCartney. man, very, very down to earth dude. He coached guys like Isaiah Simmons, Darren Sproles, so he knew what it took to get to that next level. So it all started with him, and then college I got Coach Malone, Coach Kleiman, Coach Claremont, really that whole staff. Just them giving me the opportunity to showcase my ability, and I'm just grateful they gave me the opportunity.
Are there any corners, defensive backs in the NFL that you watch and particularly try to emulate, or do you really appreciate their game?
Yeah, there's three guys I really watch: Jair Alexander, Chuck McDuffie, and Denzel Ward.
You mentioned McDuffie. I mean, you and Trent are just about the same size, and you've got some similar. Do you see a little bit of yourself in the way that he plays? Because he's a fast guy, but he kind of makes up for the size a little bit, but also just
Yeah,
plays with a lot of toughness. And
I would say so. Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's one of the best press cover corners in the league. He's not afraid to tackle. So I like watching him a lot. Still some things from him. So yeah.
For you as a corner, what's kind of your favorite thing? Is it press? Is it playing zone or man or what? What parts about being corner? What are your favorite parts that you kind of get amped up on whenever you get to execute them?
Shoot, when it's man coverage, I get the press. Just getting hands on the receiver. I got a bunch of different techniques I can do in press. So that's something I take pride in. That's something I practice a lot. So I'm gonna go for sure press coverage.
would that be your preference in the NFL to be able to play on the outside, or do you see yourself as somebody that has the flexibility to move inside? Or, we see a lot of guys now, even being asked to play on the back end, even if they're a quarter.
Sure, I'll do anything. Which one ever gonna get me on the field quicker, to be honest. So if that's inside, outside, safety, I'm willing to do anything.
Now, for you, from being from Olathe North, obviously Darren Sproles played in the league for a long time. Like you said, Isaiah's been there. What did it kind of mean to you to know there's guys that have been in that school and been on that football program before over the past 20 plus years that were able to make it to the league? How did that kind of help you a little bit to know you've got people before you that have been in that spot?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. Like not that many people get the opportunity that I got, and I just knew. I mean, guys like Darren Sproles and Isaiah Simmons. I mean, they were able to do it, so I feel like I had a good opportunity doing it. So seeing them guys succeed at the next level is, I like seeing that. Gives me hope.
I know how much hard work goes into the preparation for the combine, but what's your schedule now? What's for about really the next 6-7 weeks heading up into the draft? What will you be doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to K-State here soon this week. Start training, and then train for the pro day, and then meet with teams. Teams probably gonna come back to K-State, work me out. So that's pretty much my schedule till the draft.
Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you've met with the team or anything of that nature, but some of the NFL defensive schemes you've watched, who's have you kind of really enjoyed being able to watch on film or watch on TV over time?
TV, I mean Chiefs. I like watching the. I grew up a Chiefs fan, so I like what they be doing. Chiefs. I'm gonna go with Philly. They do some pretty good things too, and then I'm gonna go with Minnesota too. Minnesota. Like I like what they put on tape.
Growing up in Kansas City, if on draft day you get that phone rings and you see an 816 or a 913 on your phone,
Yeah.
what's going to be your reaction?
So it's gonna be a lot of emotions, if I get that call, I think my dad wants me to stay at home, so I feel like he's gonna be very much excited for that. But that'd be very blessing, stay close to home, just putting on for the city. So I mean, I hope that can happen.
Has there been another cornerback or teammate or somebody that's kind of been a mentor towards you in helping you kind of develop as a corner?
I would say, yeah, Julius Brinson, Echo Boydo. My freshman year, they were seniors, just looking towards them guys, how they handle their business, I learned a lot from them guys, like recovery, technique, and they taught me the scheme at K-State, just so I appreciate those guys for sure. So I'm gonna go with those two.
Is there anything in particular that you've learned during this process going into it that maybe you didn't know or didn't expect?
Shoes, it's straight about business, got to change that mindset. It's about business, teams, they gonna give you millions, so you gotta show them why you're capable of making that much money and just.
Nope, sorry, let me cut out there for a second. But yeah, Jacob, for you, what from a corner perspective, is there anything that you're really going to be focusing on in these months ahead that you really want to get to another level before you reach the NFL?
Man, I mean, just improving my technique. I feel like there's always room for improvement. So press technique, off technique, ball skills, zone drive. So I'm gonna be working on all of those things, trying to take that to the next level.
Do you have a welcome to the NFL moment in Indianapolis? There was somebody you met, somebody you saw, or a
Yeah.
question you got to ask that kind of was, you realized, hey, you're in the NFL now.
Shoot, I saw we was in a meeting and we had some mentors and it was some dude sitting next to me. He looked pretty familiar and it was Wes Walker. So I remember watching him on the Broncos and I talked to him a little bit. So that was pretty good little moment.
For you, from some of the receivers you potentially went against in college, who was it that you really enjoyed going against and you felt kind of helped elevate your game?
I'm gonna say them 2 wide receivers from Iowa State. Pretty good receivers. I got respect for both of them, but it's Iowa State. I don't like Iowa State, but like I said, I respect both them guys. So yeah, I'm gonna go with those 2.
Well, one last question for me, Jacob, and I'll let Nick finish up. But is there anybody that you lean on during this process? Is it a teammate that you're going through this with? Anybody that's helping you that so you don't maybe feel alone in this whole draft process?
Yeah, I mean Marquis Siegel. He was actually my roommate at the combine. He's going through this whole process. I'm very grateful. I'm able to go through this process with a guy like Marquis. It's one of my best friends. I consider him a brother. So, like I said, I'm blessed that we both get to go through this opportunity together.
For you, you had so many guys. You had 7 guys from high school locally that were invited to the combine, including yourself. And you had so many of your teammates at K-State, some at Missouri, and then obviously some at Kansas. What do you think it says about the football in this area to have so many of you guys represent there at the combine?
Shoot, I feel like it's an underrated area. We don't get that much respect as we should, but I feel like that Kansas City area always produced some good athletes. So I would say that very underrated area.
Well, Jacob, it's been a lot of fun watching you play, and we truly appreciate your time to talk about what you've just been going through and what you see happening the next couple of months. Best of luck to you in the draft process.
I appreciate you guys.
You've been listening to 41 is the Mic, presented by KSHB 41, your home of the Chiefs and Chiefs Digest.